All right, people, we're continuing on our E3 coverage a week after the fact, a week and a half, probably 2 weeks by the time this is up.
Yep. And also playing Fallout to celebrate probably the best announcement.
Cheers! Anyways, so...
Can I just nitpick for a second?
Go ahead.
I don't like the orange.
You don't like the orange
I don't
color
like
scheme
the orange.
in Vegas?
I don't like the orange. Is that weird? Is that oddly specific?
Maybe, because I think orange made this game look more vibrant than Fallout 3. Because Fallout 3, that weird bluish-gray haze kind of made it look, like, boring as shit to me.
Right. Well, I mean, I would prefer that just the green had something to it. There's something about the green that really just, like, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like I said, it's a nitpick, right?
All right. By the way, viewers, in the background, what you're hearing is Ashley attempting to do a 50,000 piece puzzle.
Yep.
They've been at this for a week and a half. It's not quite a picture of blue sky, but it is damn close.
Yeah, it's really hard. But, I mean, I don't know, but.
You don't know.
Yeah, people still do puzzles. I love them, personally. I think they're cool.
Well, I play puzzle
great,
games on
like
Steam. There are some good puzzle games.
Zen little
Anyways, back to E3!
thing. Except when the pieces break, that sucks.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't happen in digital.
So we left off on Jason Derulo singing
Oh,
horribly.
yeah, we did. That was awful.
That was the worst piece. Even on the Twitter feed, if you watch the Twitter feed during that, it was hilarious. It was just like, please stop. This is the worst thing ever of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Please stop.
It's like JJ Fish.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he was like JJ Fish.
Who's JJ Fish?
Oh my god. Show him.
Alright,
Well, show me later.
Sure, let's show him later.
Yeah.
If you're interested, though, viewer, JJ Fish.
Okay, I'll
That
look
will
up
be
JJ
enough.
Fish.
JJ Fish, yep.
Alright, so
You need JJ.
The Division was also shown more Division gameplay, but
Yeah,
this was the bad gameplay chatter that was shown there.
Yeah, the really strangely
Robotic chatter.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, there's that guy over there. I'm gonna flank around him, okay? No one talks like that in normal gameplay, okay?
Yeah.
No one talks like that.
Yep.
It was kind of off-putting,
Yeah, a little bit.
but here in this Fallout New Vegas game, I just want to point out I am wearing Joshua Graham's armor, and I'm going to be doing some fashion souls here. So just showing off the various suits I have acquired throughout the game.
Reminds me of those really crappy let me show you my character videos on YouTube everywhere. I love those. I think they're the funniest shit.
Yeah, I made this character look as close as possible as I could to Kristen Stewart.
Oh yeah, you have the strangest crush on Kristen Stewart, I forgot.
Yes, I do.
There's a movie coming out with her soon, with her and Jesse Eisenberg.
American Ultras.
Yeah, that looks
And
hilarious.
she looks hella hot in that one too, I gotta say.
Did you just say hella?
Hella hot. Don't smack me. Don't. Back away.
Okay, well, anyway, let's immediately change.
Rainbow
subject.
Six Siege.
Yeah.
I remember very little of that.
I played one Rainbow Six game once. I thought it was alright. I tried another Rainbow Six game, found out that it was the same thing, immediately became disinterested.
I remember from the very
That's
old
my experience
PC
with Rainbow
games.
Six. I think it was Rainbow Six Vegas, which I played.
Yeah.
I thought was kind of...
Yeah, I remember playing that for like 10 seconds and saying, this controls kind of stiffly, so I'm down.
It does. It is weird, yeah. But there's a new Rainbow Six coming out.
Yeah.
There's a new Rainbow Six.
It has
Did you know
flashbangs.
that? It has flashbangs.
It has riot
frag
shields.
grenades.
So, yeah, basically like
It's,
Call of Duty has had for the past 10 years.
It's Tom Clancy.
Who is dead.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Rest in peace, Tom Clancy.
Yeah. Do you even remember...
I don't remember a single damn thing other than the flashbangs and riot shields.
Yeah. Surprise.
Yeah.
It looks slightly better than it did on the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And then...
So you can see we're not excited about it. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it's British. It is so British. It is beyond British. It goes into straight...
I have very strange feelings about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I think
it's because Unity fucked everything up.
It was even... I kind of had the same feeling even before Unity. Even when I was still enjoying the games, and there was Revelations and Brotherhood,
and
which is an infinitely better subtitle than Revelations. No, even when that was going, I really dug both those games. I think it might have had to do with, kind of still growing up with Ezio, and Ezio was a cool character, and it was like, oh, I've known him forever.
Oh, that was a horrible hat.
Blah, 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 whatever. But it still gave me this weird sinking feeling. And then when Assassin's Creed 3 came out, that sinking feeling kind of continued. But I stuck with it because there was still some fun.
You can find my review of Assassin's Creed 3 on this channel.
It's not positive.
No, it is not. And people actually gave me shit for giving it a low score.
Fine.
And you know what's funny? None of those people are defending that game now. They're like, "Oh, you just didn't like this game because you sucked at it," and then like no one talks about it.
Happened with a few other games.
Yeah, it's almost like people are idiots.
That's painting it black and white, but
Well,
it is. Lots of people have their knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah, it's like, I like this game.
Negative,
you know,
yeah.
I'm justifying the $60 I spent on it. Therefore, this game is good because I say so. Okay, fine. You know what? That's perfectly fine.
Well,
You're an idiot because you're a critic and you analyze things deeper, and that means just you suck at this game. That means that your opinion is less valid because I like this game.
The thing is, I liked it a little bit more than you did, but again, it was one of those things where it was mostly because it hit all the right notes with me, and it was enough that I could overlook the negatives.
It did have a hell of a trailer, I gotta say that.
Yeah, it did. There were still a lot of negatives in Assassin's Creed 3. Assassin's Creed 4 came out, and even though I enjoyed it, I still haven't finished it.
Black Flag,
don't know
yeah.
if I ever will.
Yeah,
It's
just.
strange.
I think the franchise has lost its magic.
The thing is, it had so much potential. What more could you have done? So much more.
Yeah,
Ubisoft,
it's like Hitman open world, you know?
Yeah, at like the free running aspect, the sandbox aspect, the historical aspect, like all that. You could have gone to feudal Japan.
And done stuff there. But
could
instead,
have
you're an
gone-
East Coast sofa baron.
Yeah, you could have gone to the Mayans. Could you imagine like a Mayan themed Aztecian?
Oh.
Who knows what you could have done? And like you could have varied up the gameplay using like historical information, because we all know you love history and all your little factoids, and you're very proud that you do your research. But still, all the Assassin's Creed games just played the same.
Here's me going ham because this is me actually going into the final mission in New Vegas.
And the thing is, climbing trees and stabbing people is still the same as climbing buildings and stabbing people. It's
Yes.
like there's anyway.
And, you know, those
And then
when you could
yes.
climb the trees, it just
Yeah.
felt so prescribed. But anyways, back to
Yeah,
Syndicate. Like this franchise has lost its magic. The
Yeah.
only reason I'm interested in this game is because of British accents. Basically, that's it.
You know what? If they released this game, I think okay, they're not going to, and this wouldn't save the game for a lot of people, and it's a little bit too late by this point because of Unity, but I think that if they were smart about it from the beginning, they would have made this an episodic gaming series.
Yeah.
I think the Assassin's Creed series would have been way better from the start, maybe not including the first Assassin's Creed or the second Assassin's Creed because they were kind of like testing the waters, but after that point, an Assassin's Creed game that was like still open world, that had a decent sized city, but only like the main campaign only lasted 2 hours, and you sell the game for $30-$40.
And then you add more missions later on.
You could polish your content. You could make sure that your NPCs aren't falling through the ground.
No,
You know.
my major problems was that the combat was touted as fluid and it never quite was for me. So
It reached a peak, unfortunately, at the same time where Ezio was absolutely overpowered, and it sort of that sucked the fun out of it rather than just finicky controls.
yeah.
Pressing and holding a button to kill everything on screen.
Yeah. Anyways, I think you could tell we're very down on the Assassin's Creed franchise, and all we
But
saw
I don't
of
want to
Syndicate.
be. The thing is, I don't want to be. I want to say again that hey, did you play that Assassin's Creed game? It was cool. It was great.
Yeah, you want to be able to have joy, but unfortunately, Syndicate just didn't do that for us. Though it did look like there was a Spider-Man-ish mechanic teased in the trailer, like where you could actually swing.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was only teased, and it might not be in the final
It's
game.
probably one of those like pathway elements that like swinging on the sign and stuff like that, or jumping through a window in Assassin's Creed 3.
Maybe.
And oh, there's a house.
Yeah.
But
We're bored already talking
Yeah,
about this.
that was
Anyways, so after Assassin's Creed Syndicate, we're moving on because it is boring to talk about, and I'm sure you viewers want to move on to more exciting games, like the game that no one knew what the game exactly was during the trailer until the title card showed up, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Did you watch that trailer?
That's boring too. No.
We actually had theories that it was like a Call of Juarez title up until the Ghost Recon title card came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was interesting.
It's just the junk food of gaming.
The junk food.
That's all. I've always found this so awkward when like people are crouching and hiding and they're still talking to you.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And then he just pops back up.
Yeah,
Yep.
it just awkwardly popped back up.
But you can count on me.
You can count on
Stiff
me,
shoulders.
friend. Finally, we move on to Sony.
Oh yeah,
Sony, The Last Guardian
I
still
think
exists.
they did. I think Sony had the best E3 presentation. Just
Alright, explain.
personal opinion.
Explain.
Well, starting off with The Last Guardian was huge. That's something I've been waiting for 5 years, I think.
Yes.
Hearing that it's still happening is nice.
Even though it barely looks better than it did the last time they showed it.
Yeah, visually it has that look. It has like, you can see it has good aesthetics, it has good art direction. Only thing I'm kind of iffy about is the sort of glowing feel that the main character has.
Yes.
But then again, they had that in Ico, and they had some of that in Shadow of the Colossus. It's kind of the thing that they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't, like, it still looks like a great game, but I'd like to. I don't know. I'm still hopeful. I can understand like if they have, limitations because of where they started, but who knows? I don't know.
What can you do, right?
But all in all, I think Sony they just barely inched out over Microsoft. They didn't have any announcements that were kind of like Microsoft's backwards compatibility.
No.
But
didn't.
I mean, it's strange because there were a lot of things I wasn't actually personally looking forward to in the Sony thing, but I still recognize they're huge announcements.
Yes,
Right.
like the Final Fantasy VII HD remake.
Yeah, like
I'm excited.
Like I understand that's huge. I also understand that it's probably Square Enix's panic button. Oh God, what do we do? Quick remake Final Fantasy VII. Break glass in case of emergencies.
They have been going downhill.
Am I miscounting, or do they have 5 Final Fantasy games out that are announced but not released yet? I believe it's 5. It might be 4.
Yeah, they're working on a lot of things.
They love announcing things.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. It is like, wow, you guys aren't
Yeah.
taking a step back, are you?
Yeah, and then Final Fantasy VII was announced. Uncharted 4, I think that's cool. They got
But,
the
it's kind of like,
Horizon Zero Dawn looked really cool as a new IP.
what was that again?
That was the one with the giant robot dinosaurs as you play with the Amazonian.
Why are we
just-
stand up.
Why?
Stand up.
Why?
You don't have any energy.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you
Okay.
know you have. Stand up.
Oh yeah, they showed more Battlefront stuff too.
Yeah, they
Did
did.
they?
Kind of.
I don't know how I feel about Battlefront. How do you feel about Battlefront?
Battlefront's okay. Like, I mean, the gameplay they showed was actually pretty neat. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, oh, Jedi, who are going to be massively overpowered.
Well, that's the point. I mean, playing any of the hero characters was your reward in Battlefront 2 for doing really well, right? The person with the highest point count on a team they'd get a little text thing on their screen that would say, "Hey, do you want to play as Han Solo? Do you want to play as Luke Skywalker? Do you want to play as Darth Vader?" And then you could actually pass it on to the next person if you didn't want to. But that's what the hero. Did you play much Battlefront 2?
Battlefront 2, no. Battlefront 1, though, I played the shit out of.
Oh, did you?
Because I
Okay.
just like playing the regular troopers and going around shooting shit.
Yeah, well, that's in Battlefront 2 as well. You can just play as a... Anyway, I thought it looked really nice, and it kind of lived up to the trailers that they were showing, where they were like real gameplay footage. But other than that, I don't... It's like I'm tiptoeing around it. I don't want to say that I'm super hyped for it, but I don't want to say, like, I don't want to be one of those people who are just like, oh, it's in EA's hands, it's going to be a train wreck. They just announced that it's only 20 versus 20. What the shit is that? It was 20 versus 20, right?
Yeah.
Basically lower.
That's
Wow.
me accidentally nuking myself with the tiny tots.
Good job. Anyway,
I giggle like a schoolgirl every
Yeah.
time I go. It's just like, holy shit.
anyway, so they nerfed the count, the team count size
Oh, that is gold.
in Battlefront. So
just have
and
a nuke.
apparently there's no space battles. but there's still probably going to be ship battles at some point. And,
Yeah, there will always be shit battles.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing, everyone wanted DICE to handle Star Wars Battlefront when they got a hold of it.
Yeah.
And we're just holding out hope that it'll actually be a good game and not Battlefield 4 on launch.
Yeah. But speaking of space, No Man's Sky looks freaking
Doesn't
amazing.
it, right? It's like, oh my god, a procedurally generated open universe.
See, the thing is, that's not the first time they've done it, but it's going to be the first time they've done it on console. If anyone's heard of Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen, they know that the thing that No Man's Sky is doing isn't absolutely groundbreaking, but what they are doing is the whole just land on
any planet.
And it's like, it's a planet-sized planet. And you can just, oh my god, I don't even know what you can do in the game yet. And it's one of the few games that I'm actually
it's proof of concept, right?
Hyped about.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm a sucker for sci-fi, and I love just
I actually
like
want to bring up some
the reason sci-fi really like gets to me is because I just
a lot of people we are finally at the level
astronomy.
of technology.
Yeah, well, the thing is, astronomy's always fascinated me, and it's just the bigness of it. And having
me and my
games that really showcase just like the infinite of
I kind
space.
of like this shot, the way this is composed.
But yeah, I think it would be good. Also, it was announced for PC as well.
Yeah.
Right?
So that means PC players will get there.
I had actually heard nothing about it being on PC until.
You know what we missed on the Xbox conference too?
Uh-oh.
All the indie games.
Oh yeah,
Like Cuphead. Oh,
Cuphead.
that looked amazing, didn't it?
Yeah, that looked really cool.
Hey, Ashley, I'm gonna bring up some Cuphead footage and we're gonna watch it, and you're gonna like orgasm at this shit. This is amazing. Cuphead.
Yeah.
Trailer.
A lot of the indie stuff was really cool.
No, that's E3 2014. We want E3
Did they show it in
2015.
2014?
Yeah,
I didn't even hear.
watch.
Oh, I must have
Look
missed
at this. Wait. I'm gonna bring it back to the beginning in 3, 2, 1, sync. Here we go. The Cuphead E3 2015 trailer.
Cuphead.
Just watching that, it was just like, oh my god.
I love games with an artistic style, like something to say. Right?
Yeah, but look at this. Oh my god, it looks so much like 1930s animation.
Yeah. But it reminds me a lot of kind of like the Alien Hominid.
Yeah.
Like, what's that studio called?
It's supposed to be a platformer, though.
Yeah, well, it's still...
Like a very super hard platformer. Oh my god, look at that.
Yeah. It just looks really cool in motion.
Oh.
I love their neutral animations where they do just like the
little dance, right? It's like, yeah.
The Mickey Mouse dance, the Disney dance.
Oh my god, look at that. This is possible with today's technology now. My god.
But the thing is, it was possible before, but like...
No one
really thought of bringing something like this to a video game, and I think it's an awesome idea.
That is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Oh. Hopefully they won't copyright strike me when I insert that into the video.
Just flip it horizontally or something.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Shenmue 3.
Yep. Again, one of those things where like I'm not blown away by it, but I can recognize.
Did you see
I can
game
recognize
trailers?
the hype. I as soon as I heard that they blew up Kickstarter and it no longer worked.
But here's the thing. Did you see the video of the game trailer staff just freaking out over its announcement?
No.
It's the most genuine thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just like, whoa. He was screaming his lungs out. It was hilarious.
Jesus.
But a lot of people were...
Thing we just watched?
No, something else.
No.
Over a game called Shenmue.
Yeah.
I do find it weird how they are bringing it to Kickstarter, but the thing is, I understand that it's...
Apparently
it's a
Sony's
greater
like
good
publishing
thing.
it. There was a rumor going around that the Kickstarter wasn't actually being the thing that was funding the thing, but information has come to light. That says that the Kickstarter is providing a lot of the funding for the game to be developed.
Well, it's just kind of in the benefit of the people who are making the game. They can
And
get this
other
extra
investors.
money because people are interested in getting like a good game.
And some game journalists were going around, stop giving money to the Shenmue Kickstarter. You're just perpetuating Sony's dominance of the industry or something. It's like...
No, you know what? The thing is, if someone's going to make a Kickstarter account to like fund something big like that, they're gonna probably most likely you're gonna get other people who are gonna fund other things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that like they're not gonna go on and only fund Sony products. They're gonna find look, there's this cool thing that I saw on the related pages of Shenmue 3. Yeah, maybe I'll fund that too. I'll give $5 here. I'll give $5 there. Next thing you know, it's like it's bringing like public awareness, I guess, into the positives of stuff like Kickstarter.
Yeah. You know what thing I like New Vegas over Fallout 3 too? In New Vegas, your companions are immortal, and they can't be killed in combat. Because one of the annoyances in Fallout 3 was I was trying to keep my companions alive,
Yeah.
and they would always end up dying. Not because the enemies were any good, because they were outnumbered, mostly.
Right.
And that doesn't mean anything. It's just like, oh, we spawned 1 million enemies. That means your companions die. It's like, what fun is that? How does that prove anything? Anyways.
You know what I think would be cool?
What?
An option.
An option.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I believe Skyrim had a mod that gave you an option to toggle on and off whether or not key NPCs were killable.
No.
And that included...
That was probably a mod.
That's what I said.
No, New Vegas has a hardcore mode where they can die.
Right, yeah.
So you can technically...
No, I just think it would be cool to just be like, companions can die, yes or no, and then some people might like that. Some people, I think doing a thing that Skyrim did where they do fall unconscious for a little bit.
Yeah, that would
makes a little more sense.
Yeah. Well, they do in New Vegas as well, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So anyways, more Assassin's Creed Syndicate, blah, 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 Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Boo.
Boo. Now, Nintendo. According to you, Nintendo shat the bed.
Yeah, a little bit.
How did it do so? Because here's the list of games that it announced, and you're going to tell this guy, he's going to explain to you that Nintendo shat the bed. Star Fox Zero, The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, Metroid Prime Federation Force, Animal Crossing, Happy Home Designer, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Super Mario Maker, and more Amiibo announcements, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which is a new game, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which is Mario Tennis, but still.
See, I like how you had to specify that one of them was a new game. That to me is probably the reason why Nintendo disappointed me the most. Let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
But last year, Nintendo pretty much hands down won. They convinced me to buy a Wii U. They gave me a lot of reasons for hoping for new awesome things in the future. And then this year...
It's all Amiibos.
It's all Amiibos. And also, two things that they have been talking about nonstop since last year. Yoshi's Woolly World and Mario Maker.
Mind you, Yoshi's Woolly World is the goddamn cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. If I had a Wii U, I would buy that immediately.
Yeah, but the whole... I like the way they presented things. I think doing it digitally the way they did is actually better than doing the conference that the rest of everybody else was doing. I like the puppets. I like the general funness of it. I like the little interviews they did with Miyamoto about like what his inspirations for Star Fox were.
Oh yeah.
Blah blah. Star Fox Zero. It started off really good. I thought, that Nintendo was going to have a really strong showing when they showed so much of Star Fox Zero.
I think this is the best look Kristen Stewart has.
It looks more like Michael Jackson. I'm sorry.
Shut up.
Why can you make the characters?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can make your own custom looking characters.
Yeah.
Mind you, I had the Game Biro engine to work with here, so.
The thing is, don't make. I don't want to make it sound like I just hated Nintendo's thing, because I thought everybody did a really good job, and the fact that everybody did such a good job, and then Nintendo did
just a merely okay
they
job.
Totally had all of the resources at hand to whoop everyone's ass at E3, but they decided to restrict themselves for whatever reason. The day before E3 happened, they had actually released a bunch of stuff, namely like the Smash Bros. Update.
Yeah.
That could have been a part of their E3. They just had to wait a single day, and they could have been like, by the way, Lucas and Ryu.
Oh,
hey!
Yay.
And that would have been kind of cool, but they did that with a lot. Like they said beforehand, it's like, we're not going to show Zelda on the Wii U. So just don't get mad at us. It's like, and people are. It's like, and when I was complaining, I was like, Zelda Wii U wasn't even on their thing. They're like, oh yeah, but they said that beforehand it wasn't. It's like, I can still get mad at them for not showing anything about Zelda Wii U, especially because it's been so in the dark for so long.
It's just like
why
do these companies keep avoiding E3s, like specifically an event designed for them to showcase their products, and they don't.
So Star Fox Zero was cool. And then Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes came out, and a lot of people were iffy about this, but I just remember one thing, and that's Four Swords on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 99% of the people who played Four Swords on the GameCube weren't able to play it in the 4-player mode.
Yeah,
where
because-
everybody had to have a Game Boy Advanced, everybody had to have a Connect cable between
Yeah.
the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube. But trust me when I say it's probably the funnest I've ever had on a Zelda game.
Yeah.
Period.
Now
Four
that
Swords-
Wi-Fi is in.
Four Swords blew my mind with how fun it was, and it's always a pity because everyone's like, "For what? What? Four Swords? Is that the game where you make a square with Link?" And yeah, it's really cool to see Wi-Fi actually coming to a good use, and maybe hopefully it'll be as fun as Four Swords. But again, they didn't highlight this as like a big thing like they did with the Star Fox Zero. They were just kind of like, and then we have Zelda, and,
Yay!
it's new on the 3DS.
Mind you, I did like their presentation
and
of
you
Muppets.
and you make a totem pole, and
like
then
Nintendo
yeah.
Muppets.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
cool. That was cute.
Yeah, and then after those two decent showings, there was the kick in the nuts. The first kick in the nuts.
The Metroid Prime
was
Federation.
was Blast Ball or Griff Ball.
Yes.
Okay,
Griff
so
Ball.
basically, I don't know what Nintendo has against some of their franchises. Like, I don't know if they understand how iconic Metroid is, because they keep handing it off to developers who have no business making a Metroid game.
Yeah, like Team
Team
Ninja.
Ninja. So, like, Metroid was the first sort of like open world kind of game like that. It was the whole like Metroidvania, as people call it, even though I think that's a dumb name.
Well, it is what it is.
Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but
Like Metroid Exploration does.
yeah.
Zing.
Metroid was the first game that did that,
Mhm.
and not only that, but it had an awesome twist at the end.
Yes, that you were a chick
But
the whole
thing
time.
is,
Yay!
it wasn't just open world. It wasn't just that you were a chick the whole time and you kicked ass and it was awesome. It was that it had a certain atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
It had a really, like, even back in the day of the 8-bit.
Yeah, it was chilling.
Like,
It was
world,
chilling stuff.
It was based off of Aliens, right? It had Ridley, who's named after Ridley Scott. You know, it had Samus, who just happened to look a lot like Ripley. And it was no coincidence. And it was, like, really cool. Then the Super Metroid came out, and it's probably one of the best games on the Super Nintendo.
Mhm.
And then Metroid Prime came out, and even though people had their doubts about Metroid becoming a first-person shooter, it's still probably hands down, to a lot of people, the best game on the GameCube. It's the highest-rated game on the GameCube.
So now they have this Metroid game coming out that's just nothing but a party
what
game.
the fuck happened? Does Nintendo not realize that people want another actual Metroid Prime game? Like, Metroid Prime Hunters started the chain of disaster. If we're going to remain on this track, Metroid is the new Sonic.
Oh no.
Metroid is going to be the new Sonic.
Okay, just
Like,
stop there. That's all you need to say.
It's
Metroid is the new Sonic.
the other M was such a disappointment. Hunters was such a disappointment, and then this trailer came out where, like, hey, you know those generic cannon fodder soldiers that nobody really gives a shit about because they're uninteresting, they don't have the best design, and they're designed as cannon fodder, kind of like the generic soldiers in, Aliens.
Yeah.
You know those people that nobody gives a shit about? Now you can play Griffball with them on a terribly looking 3DS game that looks just as good as Hunters did when Hunters came out.
Oh no.
And then they put the name Metroid Prime in the title, just to, like, dangle the name that people actually want.
There might be
in
some
front of
tiny
their
bits
fans.
of lore.
Yeah. So that's kind of the thing, is that everyone else was really good at E3. There was no, like, straight up there were some cringy moments, but they were at least funny as fuck.
Yeah, like that Plants vs. Zombies, like
Yeah.
Danger Zone zombie.
Yeah, or like the dude singing and dancing. Like, that wasn't... I don't... Like, that's not a big enough thing. The Just Dance thing isn't a legendary franchise that has, like, its roots in, the most classical of gaming. I can laugh at that, right? But when something like Federation Force comes out, like, once they show that and they, like, kind of proudly tote that after two good entries, that was the first time I was kind of, like, just, it rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know.
It really rubs me.
and then Animal Crossing came out, And I'm not even a fan of Animal Crossing, and I was thinking, what the fuck is this? It's Mario Party without the mini games. And it's that's what? Nintendo. What's happening? And then they couldn't stop talking about amiibos. And that's the point that I just kind of like...
Amiibos.
I stopped paying attention, kind of.
But Super Mario Maker does look interesting.
It does. But the thing on amiibos is that I think everyone's kind of done with their false scarcity that Nintendo's been making. You know, people are scalping them. They're not releasing them
quickly enough
in an orderly manner. And then they can't stop shutting up about amiibos. And even when Splatoon came out, like, do you know how limited that Splatoon amiibo is? And it contains, like, a good chunk of the game as DLC.
Oh my god.
It actually has a challenge mode and stuff you can't get without getting the amiibo. And then they start talking about the Yoshi's Woolly World amiibo and all this, you can do this with amiibo and you can do that with amiibo. It's like, yeah, too bad, like, maybe
10 people will buy
10 people watching the stream right now are actually going to be able to play this.
Yeah, no kidding.
I don't know if that is actually worse than the whole, like, it kind of sounds to me like the same thing as releasing DLC or announcing DLC before the game comes out.
Yeah, like,
but the thing is,
on-disc DLC,
at least people can, like, at least everybody can buy that DLC.
Yes.
In this case, they're announcing DLC before the game is released, and then they're going to limit the shit out of it. So you have to pay $40 for an amiibo on Amazon.ca. Like,
yeah, that is a shitty consumer practice. Hopefully more people will call them out on that. But for now, everyone's enthralled with it, right?
Yeah, Super Mario Maker, again, a cool game, but
everyone's going to be making ROM hacks.
They've announced this before. It's like Yoshi's Woolly World. They've announced this. They've actually had coverage of this. They've had coverage of Yoshi's Woolly World. At least with Star Fox, they had just kind of shown a really quick glimpse at the HUD that was with the Wii gamepad.
Mm-hmm.
The amiibo announcements. Mario and Luigi, Paper Jam.
Which looked kind of neat.
Looked kind of neat. I am a big fan of Mario and Luigi. I'm a big fan of Paper Mario. Wasn't a fan of Sticker Star.
Yeah, apparently that sucked.
I'm like itching to get a new Paper Mario game. Please remake the Thousand Year Door. Just do it.
Anyways, on the video screen you can see this is actually the Arizona Killer quest. I'm doing a Legion run here. So my quest is to kill the president.
Nice.
So I managed to do that in some quite devious ways, I gotta say. And here I am with a stealth voice the entire way through,
so
right?
You guys get eerie when I make jokes about killing the president. And here you are doing it in the next little thing we record. So, fuck
well,
you
he's
guys.
not black, so I can say that.
Oh my god. I think you are actually racist.
That's good. And then Mario Tennis.
Yes,
Ultra
Mario
Smash.
Tennis, which no one gives a shit about.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly right. So that in a nutshell is why I thought Nintendo was disappointing.
All right.
Because everyone else managed to be entertaining, and Nintendo was the only only people that managed to.
We get it. You hate Nintendo.
I don't. I like Nintendo. I like to see Nintendo
We get it. You
succeed.
hated Nintendo on this E3, okay? Moving on. Square Enix.
I love you, bro.
Hitman, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided were the major titles. Nier 2, World of Final Fantasy, Lara Croft Go. I don't know what that is. Kingdom Hearts 3, and some more Rise of the Tomb Raider. Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness.
I don't know why, but I just can't.
Too bad.
I can't bring it to myself to take Square Enix seriously.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, Tomb Raider sold 3 million copies. It's a disappointment. It's like, yeah, how can you take that seriously?
Everything they do is confusing. I don't understand anything they do. It's just, this is personal preference, but I just don't like any of their games. I like a few of them. A few of them are actually.
I liked Hitman Absolution.
I like their weird stuff, like the stuff that most people don't really play as much, like Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced.
Yeah.
Like, I like those. They're fun. I've never been a fan of the JRPGs. I think that their business practices are weird.
Yeah.
The guy was on stage with a moon head.
No, Final Fantasy VII, I think, was the biggest announcement Square Enix itself made, besides Rise of the Tomb Raider, maybe. Maybe Deus Ex Mankind Divided, but Deus Ex Human Revolution, its luster has been lost over the years.
A little bit. It's got the AAA syndrome.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy VII HD remake. You know what? I don't remember playing through much of Final Fantasy VII originally on the PlayStation. I do remember it, but hopefully this introduces it to a new generation in a satisfactory way. Hopefully they don't fuck it up.
There's a really awkward scene in Final Fantasy where everyone, like I believe Cloud, cross dresses and then is surrounded by a bunch of almost naked bodybuilders. I really want to see how they handle that.
Didn't he almost get raped?
I really want to see how they handle that. The thing is, when you're doing it in polygons and, you know, nice little isometric pixels.
Yeah, they're probably going to take that out.
I hope they don't. I really hope they don't.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be like, and
it's
any Sarkeesian's going to jump all over it. So, like, this
Yeah.
is wrong. You can't depict rape because it sensationalizes rape.
No. Cloud's a guy, so it's okay.
Yeah, I guess.
But then, when you have representational graphics and when things are more abstract, a lot of stuff can kind of slip through the filter. Sometimes you think about it in a lot of games. It's like, if this was realistic, if this was depicted with realistic graphics, this would be really weird right now.
Yeah, like Papers, Please, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if this was more realistic,
It
oh my
wouldn't
god.
work. It would just be staring into the faces of dead CGIs for hours.
You know, I actually thought that when I was playing Papers, Please. If this was, like, super realistic, even FMV, it would be horrifying. No one would play this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was basically the gist of E3.
Yeah, I mean, the PC gaming had a thing.
But that was mostly to show off AMD cards.
Wasn't Kingdom Hearts Square Enix's? Who announced Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, I guess they announced Kingdom Hearts 3.
They kind of did, right?
Anticlimactically.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where we're just passing over it.
Yeah, it was at the point where everyone had kind of settled down. We're like, okay, we're ready to leave.
Yeah.
That's a good thing the thing is over. And then there was like Kingdom Hearts 3. And then...
Yeah, I guess. And we gotta go.
Okay, aren't there 8 Kingdom Hearts games?
Yeah.
And don't they just have like the worst subtitles?
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going for.
Faith and faithlessness or something. Hope and faithlessness.
Dream drop distance. Like,
the fuck?
Excuse me?
It's almost like that 007 movie, Quantum of Solace. It's like,
yeah, what does that mean?
No. What are you trying to get? Are you trying to be profound?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Okay, so the PC gaming show was just basically them
really, really long.
Touting graphics cards. Like, look at this
AMD
card.
It was
look
a big
at this
AMD commercial. Did they actually announce anything that was newish? They did a lot of third-party stuff. Like, that's where they announced the No Man's Sky on PC.
Yeah.
I can't, for the life of me, remember
what
it was. It's funny because
big list of games at E3 2013. We're going off of IGN here because
so many games.
Yeah, it's like so many games that a lot of people won't care about these a lot.
Yeah, that's always a pity.
Yeah, I know, right? Like PAX at least has some more focus on the indie guys, at least, right?
Mm-hmm.
But give Microsoft credit. They did have that ID at Xbox indie games program going, and they promoted it.
Yep.
They did have some interesting games showcased on there. But yeah, most of the big games everyone was just kind of meh over, except for Final Fantasy VII and Shenmue 3 for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not excited about those. But I am excited for Rise of the Tomb Raider. You know, I just like that game. Star Wars Battlefront had me going. Last Guardian, everyone was looking at pretty awesomely. And then possibly Uncharted 4, but I don't have a PS4, so that won't matter to me. So, yeah.
I might get a PS4 before I get an Xbox One.
No, get an Xbox One.
I don't know. I might get a PS4.
Nah, fuck you. Anyways, look, I died because of a nuke.
You're dead.
Yes.
Very bad.
Yes. So we're out of things to talk about in E3 now.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things that happen, though. There's the Batman thing that happened.
The Batman thing!
The Batman thing.
Actually, the Batman thing.
The funniest... It might not be, like, inherently funny.
It's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
I actually laughed because I was kind of following both news stories kind of simultaneously, and then they converged, and I was so happy. Yeah. And those two news stories were...
Steam refunds,
and then Arkham Knight.
Yes.
Which, starting with Arkham Knight, I guess, because the story...
Apparently it's a good game. Let's just say that.
when it works.
Yeah.
A lot of PC, it kind of released in the same way Assassin's Creed Unity released. Buggy, it didn't work. The frame rate was awful. You could have a supercomputer, and this thing would still run like shit. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the game looks
Yeah,
The
Total
game
Biscuit did a video
looks
on it.
gorgeous.
And he has
Yeah.
like the most top end system there is.
yeah.
Oh, that
Mhm.
sucks. But he had the most top end system there is, and even he had performance issues. He's like,
Yeah.
apparently people were getting slideshows every time they stepped into the Batmobile.
Yeah,
It was just a
absolutely.
mess.
I've seen some of that. I've seen of videos of just it looks like a PowerPoint presentation.
Well, I can see one company's not getting contracted to make PC ports anymore.
And but the thing is like I was interested because I really liked Arkham Asylum. I really liked Arkham City, and I was actually pretty disappointed about. I don't even remember the name of it. What was the one that came out? It was like Arkham Origins, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Arkham
I didn't
Origins.
like that game very much. It wasn't very good.
No, I think a lot of people have. It's fallen victim to the same AAA sequels
Yeah.
virus that everyone
Yeah.
hates now.
But Arkham Knight apparently was a return to form. Before people got their hands on it, the reviews were like,
There was no PC review code sent out to
the
critics.
funny thing is there was no PC review code. And I
So-
didn't even realize that. I just saw, 94, 95, 90, this.
And then you know what?
then it
you
was
know-
released on PC.
You know what's funny? It's like people give critics shit, but then they realize that there are some things they could be useful for. If a critic says they didn't give us review code before this release,
Mhm.
everyone knows it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah,
everyone.
pretty much.
It's almost like 99% of the time it's a disaster,
Yeah.
and this was extremely the case. Basically,
Arkham Knight,
it broke all but the most high-end machines.
Yep.
And that's unacceptable. And then you have Steam refunds.
Yeah, well, and this is coming at a time where people are just really getting sick of Steam Greenlight bullshit.
And
They're sick of getting ripped off with these shitty games that
or
people
game
are-
launches like Battlefield 4. Imagine if the Steam
Yeah.
refunds had been around for that.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed Unity, of course, and it's hitting it's kind of swirling into this whirlwind of like people are voicing their opinion that they feel like they're getting ripped off by game companies, and game companies are definitely taking advantage of this whole we'll patch these problems later, and then as soon as Arkham Knight is released, Steam announces their refund system. And what was it again? Was it 7 days after buying?
You can
a
play
game?
2 hours
Yeah,
of the
you can
game
play
or
2 hours.
7 hours or 7 days later, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 hours and 7 days later, you can fully refund your game, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone returned
Arkham Knight. And then they took it
And
off
they
the Steam
took it off.
service. That is unprecedented.
Awesome. I thought it was hilarious.
We've never seen this before.
Perfect timing. I mean, games have been pulled from Steam, to be sure, but
yes,
nothing
but they
that's
haven't,
on
nothing
the-
this big.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing this big.
It's like, imagine if Call of Duty had been pulled from sale like a day after
Yeah.
launch.
And Warner Brothers is kind of like the lesser EA. Like, not many people know. Like, for some reason, they just don't get the publicity, but they are just as bad as EA. They're just as bad as Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They're up there.
Well, the thing is, they handed it off to a third-party development studio to port it to the PC.
Yeah.
And the problem is, I think they didn't give that studio enough time to properly port it.
course
So now we are where we are, and now they're losing potentially hundreds of millions of dollars just because they released a crappy PC
Yep.
port.
And good.
And that's good because you know what? People, especially after Gamergate, people are getting more and more tired of being ripped off.
Yeah.
They're tired of people saying, "Oh, this isn't a problem." Well, now we can speak with our wallets
Yep.
and make them pay for their bad behavior.
Yeah. And there was a thing. I think I remember some people. There are actually some dissenters of the Steam refund system, saying that, oh, what if a game's less than 2 hours and people are just refunding them, and then it all becomes about how long a game is,
Yeah.
and that's one negative
That's one negative. It's
out
could
of
possibly.
so many net positives.
But-
So many net positives. I don't actually think many people would do something like that.
No.
Yeah, I think if you like a game, you're probably gonna.
But
just
you know
keep
what's
it.
funny? A lot of these,
And there's easy ways to flag that too. If
Yes.
you're if you can see that so and so person has literally returned 5 games in the past week, like, well, hey, look, it's even Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor face. Oh, I love this.
Oh,
But
gosh.
yes,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're talking about, definitely.
It's the positives outweigh the negatives.
Yes, but there was this gaming media, Kotaku once again was saying, like, was quoting some developers saying, like, oh, this refund system is ruining Steam for indie developers.
No.
And it's just
Not
like,
at all.
yeah, they were spouting the same alarmist BS that kind of like spouted the whole situation that they're in right now, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny to see them, this Arkham Knight situation, vindicate Steam refunds.
Yeah, good timing. Good timing on everything.
Yeah, good timing on a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm. Look at this.
My stomach hurts. Actually, this is going into the final mission.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Loved the final mission of Fallout 3. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looked pretty sweet from what I saw of Let's Plays.
Yeah. Have you not beaten it?
No, not yet.
Oh.
It's a bigger game than New Vegas.
Yeah, it is. This really felt more like an expansion.
Mm.
It felt like a really big expansion, and maybe like 2 expansions. But I think that all the expansions put together on Fallout 3 are actually bigger
I
than New
enslaved
Vegas.
Arcade.
Are these are both the games that we saw a few bad guy?
No,
Bad
actually,
guy?
in Fallout 3, I was on a good guy ride. I just decided to go insane in Tranquility Lane for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there you go. There's also a weird post-processing filter I find in this game. It's really subtle, but sometimes it bugs me out of the corner of my eye. I don't know what it is.
Is it the blur?
It might be like the bloom or the blur.
I think it's the blur to you.
Maybe. It is a bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
But a Legion run, you see, in Fallout 3, the main problem with it was that I had is that it meant it almost started out like you were supposed to be the good guy in the narrative, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know. And in Fallout New Vegas, you're just a nameless person with no morals whatsoever, and you can do or be whoever you want to be from the get-go and not be forced, railroaded into this good guy narrative. That's why I like New Vegas a bit more, because it doesn't have the same...
Because at the beginning?
Yes. It doesn't have the same ludonarrative dissonance going on. And I people say you shouldn't use that term anymore, but it's such a perfect term for Fallout 3.
Term anymore. When did they start saying that?
Well, you remember how...
Because people started overusing it so much?
Yeah, it's like in Grand Theft Auto 4 and in Bioshock, you could, like, the story was you being such a good person or something.
It is a bit of a buzzword, right?
Yeah. But it's a good critical term if you want to describe a certain situation perfectly. And Fallout 3, perfect ludonarrative dissonance right there. And here's the final mission, and I got Danny Trejo as my pal. Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
He's hilarious in this game, actually. I really like the voice acting of a lot of the characters in this game. Felicia Day's in here. She does a good job.
Yeah.
As Veronica whatever her name is.
I downloaded Fallout 1 and 2 on Good Old Games.
Yeah.
Never actually ended up playing them. I actually forgot I had them until now.
Yeah, I have them too. You know, I should do a Let's Play of that.
Maybe. Apparently
Hey,
they're
actually,
good.
you want to play a really, really old school PC game where you die constantly?
Definitely.
Yeah.
There you go. See, this is a true gamer girl right over here. Up for anything.
That's weird.
I could have said something that went to weird directions.
Okay.
Okay. I was doing an explosives only run.
Really?
Yep, so I had my explosives kit all decked out, grenade machine guns, nukes, the whole bit. It's awesome. It's awe-inspiring. I love it. And I dropped my glasses here, and I'm gonna search for them glasses.
I wonder if I guess like the building or the creation aspect of Fallout 4 that they showed. I wonder how much that's going to kind of impact the story or the game.
Well,
it might. Hopefully, it's not like Hearthfire, which was really, really.
Well, I did like
really
gave you a better house than the ones you had in the game.
Yeah, that was nice. I like the mannequin room.
Yeah.
That's it. I thought Hearthfire was so stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all.
Not worth like what was it? It was charged the same
I got
prices.
$5 for it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap.
One thing about the Legion that
it's
you
better
might
than
not
horse
know.
armor.
One thing about the Legion in this game that you might not know is that they're actually their equipment is all sports equipment.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not Romans. It's not actual Roman Centurion armor. It's all just basically sports gear that they found lying around. It's actually kind of neat if you go into the lore aspects of these Fallout games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, they've always had pretty good lore.
Yeah. Actually, this was Fallout New Vegas was helmed by Chris Avalon, who was one of the original designers of the first Fallout games.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, in actuality, this New Vegas game is more faithful to the old Fallout games than Fallout 3 was.
Oh yeah, I mean, I never said Fallout 3 was really all that faithful. I know a lot of people were actually people kind of felt, or at least I got this vibe when Fallout 3 was first announced, and you know, I kind of got the same vibe that people were touting when Metroid Prime was announced to be a first-person shooter.
Yeah, it's gonna wreck the franchise.
But I think if Nintendo is holding out and they are making some sort of 2D Metroid, oh my god.
I'm gonna kill you, Nintendo. I'm gonna destroy you.
No, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. But no more of this...
Dicking me around.
No more of this Federation Force. I didn't even like Griffball when it first came out in Halo 3. I don't want to play it.
No.
I don't want to play it with
I
friends.
remember playing that once, that game type, and it just was...
It's dumb.
It was absolute stupidity.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's for this... It's for the same people that would make machinimas of Halo 3.
Well, you know, there were a few good ones.
There were some good ones, but you know what I'm talking about.
And I started actually making sets for my own machinima. I actually started going into the multiplayer maps and making up sets for a machinima of my own, but I just abandoned that project really quick.
When they introduced the Forge, oh god.
Yeah.
Like, it was a really cool concept, but you got, like... You'd run into these, like, private games, like, so, like my younger brother had some random friend request me while he was playing on my account, and then like I get an invite from like Assassin Ninja 7768XXX 360 no scope 420 for life, and then I join his party and he's running this private game, and I kid you not, this kid was like, he had built some sort of thing in Forge, like a crappy little hut, and he was like, I started, you know, shooting people and whatever, and he warned me. He was just like, there's no shooting in this private game, we are playing drive-through. And then I see some dude come around in a warthog and he's like, I'm gonna have a double cheeseburger, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And I left.
Oh my god.
Yeah, true story. That actually happened. That kid is probably playing Minecraft as we speak.
Oh.
Then again, he's probably not still 10 years old. So, or he wasn't 10. He was probably like 13 or 14.
Oh, whatever.
I was pretty young back
here we
then,
go.
too.
Here we go. Let's conclude our thoughts on Fallout 4 then, while this is going on. What we saw Fallout 4, continuing from our conversation from the previous video,
Yeah.
or previous section of this video, I should say. If it's divided or edited, I will decide that later.
Yeah.
But Fallout 4 looks interesting in many of the same ways that Skyrim looked interesting when it was first announced.
Yep.
It's basically that. It looks like Skyrim, Fallout, you know?
Skyrim out.
Sky out.
I don't know. I can't find
The Elder Scrolls Fallout.
Uh,
With the Elder Scrolls
isn't-
Fall effect.
I heard Black Marsh is going to be the next Elder Scrolls game.
I heard Elsewhere. You know that cat?
Yeah.
That cat desert.
They had a have you played-
Ashley, did you know in the Elder Scrolls there's a entire region made entirely of cats?
No, but
Cat-
I like
cat
that.
Everyone would love that.
said again. God damn it.
Shut up. Elsewhere would be a better place than Black Marsh, I would think.
I think they
because-
could do a lot with Black Marsh as long as it wasn't like just swamp. I think they could make it pretty interesting.
Yeah, or they could do a remake of Daggerfall.
There's nothing that's actually stopping them from making like Black Marsh interesting. I mean, just because it's mostly swamp, it doesn't mean.
I don't want to fight through a swamp though. I want to fight with cats. Okay, I think everyone wants to fight with the cat people.
There's a
Stop.
mod. There's a Skyrim mod where called it's called Moon. I can't remember. There's a really
Moon
good
Sugar?
Skyrim mod. No, there's a really good Skyrim mod where they make Elsewhere, and you can go there. It's a
just
big.
mod,
It's
though.
a big Skyrim mod. It's one of the biggest ones.
Oh
really
my
good.
god, I love going through with a grenade machine gun and just going ham on these NCR troops. It's just a blast.
Yeah, the weapons in Fallout have always been a plus. Much
Yes.
better than the weapons in.
And there's a me Garand. I
Elder
love it.
Scrolls.
I love it. An M1 Garand.
What do you think of I was talking about the idea before of locking out content to some people on some playthroughs.
It was
because
kind of
what their
ridiculous
characters
that you could be like the master of magic and then the master of sneaking
Well,
and
if
the
they-
master of everything.
If they actually did that, do you think it would work?
I think it would, because
I think there's a way that you could do that. I think there's a way you could
especially
fuck that up.
especially if you gave them different ways of accomplishing
Yeah.
things. Like
Especially if like the limiting factor of the idea that you're limited to go into some factions. I think that could possibly make it more of a tie-in to the main campaign instead of so dissonant.
yeah, it's not if you're gonna do something like that, make everything interconnected to the
Yeah.
final battle, like this, like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
So like if you ally with the boomers, they do a bombing run on Dan for you.
Uh-huh.
It's actually quite interesting the way that
Just-
the factions happen.
I'm really waiting for that game where you become like the ultimate badass, the champion of Cyrodiil or the Dragonborn or the whatever cool title, insert cool title here, and everyone acknowledges you for it. But the problem with that is like the rest of the game would become so different if everyone was just like reverent of you. You know?
Yeah.
Like how would you just go through all the extra side quests that you never had the chance to do if suddenly like someone who would legitimately fear you for being the champion of Cyrodiil would just like
I surrender.
yeah
You know,
exactly.
you know, like that.
I would like to see
That would be
something
cool.
like that. I would like to see like you go to an abandoned encampment and them being like nope.
Hi.
Nope,
Hi.
I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want to go into a side quest where it's just like, oh, so and so,
Oh my God, you're the
so-and-so
Dragonborn. We won't fight you. We won't fight you. Please don't
Nord
kill us.
stole my heirloom. Go and like the thing is,
I'll just hire mercenaries.
that would be
to
a
do it.
great side quest if you were in the Thieves Guild. That would be a great side quest if you were in the Dark Brotherhood. Even maybe in the Fighters Guild, you could be kind of like a jock and sort of break his kneecaps. Who knows? Who knows? Whatever the Fighter Guild's about.
You know
I
what?
think.
It's like put more thought into the aspects
Yeah.
of the game design. Don't just throw shit out there and just say, "Oh, people will find this fun," just going
Yeah.
on random AI quests.
The more they put into these huge open world games, the more it's going to feel strange and disjointed, and like everything's kind of
Don't
dreamy
put more.
and
Put
surreal.
more thought.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you put more thought, then there's going to be less content. If you're going to polish these things and you're going to say, oh, we have 40 factions. Like everyone wants to hear that. Everyone wants to hear there's as many factions in the next Elder Scrolls as like say Morrowind had. But the thing is, then they could put less focus on it. But I think the key would be, theoretically, maybe.
You know, I found a copy of Morrowind for the Xbox,
Yeah.
and I didn't buy it. I should have bought it.
Oh, maybe. I played it a few years ago and it didn't really hold up.
All right.
The combat, the
It's-
fact that it's based off of dice rolls is infuriating. Like how that is a bad design decision. Like a real time combat.
Oh, and here are your
That's
allies, the
luck-based.
Great Khans, who the Legion enslaves after you win for the Legion.
Yeah. Anyway, like I was saying before, I think the key might be to actually restrict some content. Like
Yeah.
if you're in the Dark
Like Fallout
Brotherhood,
New Vegas has some quests where you can do things
like the Thieves Guild,
different ways.
if the Thieves Guild says, there's no killing here, even if you go to the Fighters Guild and you kill some dude, or you become like champion of the arena and you've killed some dudes, the Thieves Guild should just be like, what the fuck's your problem? Like you may not have done this on a job, but
There is aspects of this in New Vegas. A
Yeah.
companion will actually keep a tab on your karma,
Yeah.
and if it's too low, she'll actually leave you
yeah,
for the rest of the game. And some characters will flat out not work with you if you're if you're a Legion
Yeah.
allied character.
I think KOTOR did some of that. There was a really cool, sort of like a Paragon Renegade system, dark side, light side of the Force.
Yeah.
But it went to your companions as well in KOTOR, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, if they do more of that, but more related to certain factions, to all the factions that they put in the game, and they don't do something like, oh, hey, you can be master of absolutely everything and nothing has consequences.
You know what I think a starting point could possibly be?
What?
Is having every faction have an equal and opposite faction.
Mm-hmm.
So Dark Brotherhood versus Moragtong, and you could join one or the other. That's your choice, right? But then again, it's like if you're a good Paragon-esque character,
You can't
you
join any of
should
them.
be blocked off from doing the Dark Brotherhood shit. Because how can you like pray to the Night Mother and be in some sort of death cult
if
And then-
you're saving people
yeah.
left, right, and center, right? It's like, this doesn't make any sense. Well, technically, the Dark Brotherhood operates off of a moral scale. You could say that we only kill certain people who are prayed to for the death mother. Technically, it does work. But Morai Tongue, I wouldn't imagine that, or any bandit allied faction,
exactly.
you know,
That would
right?
be- yeah.
But hopefully Fallout 4 is good.
I
That's
think
the
if
message
they
we're...
toyed with that idea, I think people are kind of sick of being the leader of, like, you know, the Archmage and
Yeah, like, how am I the Mark?
and the blades and the legendary dragon
Archmage,
hunter.
when I became the Archmage in Skyrim, I literally, my magic level was probably like 10.
Yeah, you probably went through everything by swinging your sword.
Yeah,
and
it's like...
kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, exactly. And
less of that and more thoughtfully thought through quests like in the Fallout games.
and then you're this legendary hero and you walk past a guard, not even acknowledging him, and he's like, "Let me guess, somebody stole your sweet roll."
It's like, now I have to kill you. Get over here.
I'm like, could you just not, like, maybe have at least levels of dialogue,
You know, well,
and not just be, oh, you've just put in a little bit of skills into your stealth,
Therefore-
just because, and then now every time you walk past someone, he's just like, "You got sticky fingers."
sneak thief.
It's like, what? I don't even
sneak. What is your problem?
I snuck once. I got a thing so I could open a lock.
I gotta go to the washroom, but this is probably a good point to end it anyways. Thank you for listening. This has been our big E3 extravaganza and Fallout 4.
Yeah, and the washroom count is 6 today.
Oh, shut up. Any final thoughts?
I hope Fallout 4 is good,
Me too.
or else this video will be all for naught.
And goodbye.